man hustling every day to get his daughter through school. The artisans grinding every day to earn their urgent 2K. To the farmers, scientists, teachers, the doctors who do what they do so we can learn, live, and grow. The entrepreneur with his hustle, waiting for Baba to pick his call. To us Nigerians, doing our best daily to make ends meet. The world is yours.
All right, so the conversation continues here on Nigeria Info. And, we're still looking at the state of emergency in Rivers State. It was declared by the president yesterday in the broadcast after a security meeting. And if you missed it, you can go online, you find out the details. Get on our Facebook page at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Go on our website, Nigeria Info PH. You'll find all of the details about where we and how it's point that we're in now with a sole administrator in charge. I'll tell you a bit about the new sole administrator in Rivers State and a few things that you should know about the man. But prior to that, before then, please remember to respond on Facebook. We've asked you Does the state of emergency give Rivers people back control over their state? Let us know what you think. Does the state of emergency give Rivers people control over their state? Will it eventually, after the 6 months or before the 6 months, depending on what happens, does it end up giving power back to the people? We'll find out what your thoughts are at the end of the day. Because there are plenty theories and plenty postulations and conspiracy theories and so on. But let me say this. For those who do not know, the president has nominated Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired, as the administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state. He is going to be doing this, and there's a few things that I want you to know about him. So he's a retired Vice Admiral, former Chief of Naval Staff, position he held from 2015 to 2021. It was while he was holding that position in 2015 that he had visited, at the time, Governor Nyesom Wike. At the time, the FCT minister was governor. This was around August, to be precise, August 14, 2015. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ibas, visited the governor, and the governor met with him. That was Governor Wike at the time, met with him and pledged support for the Nigerian Navy to secure the waterways in Rivers State. And after that, several pictures that you find online of how they're done, going about state business and ensuring that to help the Navy do their work. Now, there are some who are beginning to, like I said, conspiracy theories, draw these theories out. Some people even going to Edo State, the election period, and what came up with, the cousin of the FCT minister is working with in the part of people conducting the election for INEC. How can we allow that? Now there are those that are saying we now have an administrator that had a relationship with the FCT minister before, and so they are not settled with that. Well, people would have their thoughts, but these things are in history and they happened, and this is what it is. Whether it has anything to do with anybody, that we don't know, we can't tell. Also, with regards to his education, also you should know, yes, that Mr. Ibas was born in Nko, Cross River State, South Nigeria. His education, primary school and all of that was in Cross River State. He was at the Hope Waddell Training Institute, Calabar, from 1972 to 1976. He enlisted into the Nigerian Defense Academy as a member of 26 regular corps on June 20. He attended several military courses at home and abroad, some of which include sub-lieutenant technical course of INS Vendruthi in India, primary pilot training at the 301 Primary Flying Training School at Nigerian Air Force Base in Kaduna. Several other things. He also holds a master's degree in the Defense and Strategic Studies from Quad-i-Azam University in Islamabad in Pakistan. He's also a midshipman on board NNS Rowan Yaro, NNS Obuma, and NNS Aradu. Several served as executive officer on some of the other NNS Siri, NNS Echo, and NNS Ambe. So his resume is quite impressive. You definitely know that he got to the top of what he was doing at the time. But at the moment, he is the administrator in Rivers State, and that's where we are. You can find more information about him online if you want to go search. But this is where we are with the situation at the moment. So the next question is, going forward, does this translate to ensuring that the stability we're talking about that this would bring from the perspective of the president, does it involve, or would it ensure that Rivers people are back in charge of their state? Let's find out what your thoughts are. The number to call is 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0002 are the numbers to call. Someone has said to me, well, this is good, it's going to... I said, now is when the politics will get even more intense. Honestly, politicians, and everybody will be having meetings and and going here and going there and promising this and promising that and forming an alliance and, give and take will start happening now. And that's basically what the situation is. But eventually what Rivers people want is a government that they would feel and see that is for them and by them, and is being run with their interest at the forefront. But let's get your thoughts quickly. Again, the number is 0817-923-0007. I'll go take some messages on Facebook. This one's from Bishop Yaya Ezekiel. Says, no, it doesn't put the state in the hands of the people, but it's going to put the state in the hands of some few individuals. Okay. Another person here says, that's what the president has been targeting because of political interest. But for me, that will be own goal for him. I did not get what that is. The crisis in Rivers State has not gotten to the point of Mr. President declaring a state of emergency. Thank God ability. Mohammed Komat says, that's what the president has been targeting. Okay, we took that already. Rex Wanko said, it brings peace to the land. That's all we need to know. Elijah Emmanuel January says, they came with resignation. It didn't work. They came with impeachment. It didn't work. Now, they are here with state of emergency. It will also not work. It is crystal clear that the governor is the defender of democracy, and we are with him forever. So some of the messages we have coming online. You can also join the conversation on X at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. So use the numbers and get through to us. Let's go to Water Lines now, where Samuel is on the line waiting. Samuel, good morning. Please, let's try to be civil and go straight to the point. You heard the question, and we need your response to the question directly so we can move on to the next caller. Good morning.
You see, my own opinion, what happened is this, is once people or greediness happen this way, this is what we see in this country, and this is what we see in the state. That is what happened to this thing that is happening today. The crisis is happening today is maybe something that maybe who's not supposed to experience it. I think a governance is supposed to be when you have the people interest in your mind and not only one person interest. All those things will not be happening. And the president also giving state of emergency in the state where there is no chaos, where there is no death, where there is no shooting, all those things. I don't understand. I don't know the interest the president have in this state today that it may be declared state of emergency. Just as he said, in the time of Jonathan, declaring state of emergency during Jonathan is where maybe that time that Boko Haram are taking over some places, some local governments also. And they didn't suspend the governor. You understand? So now you suspend elected governor that the whole 23 local governments elected. You suspend the man. So what do you want from the state? So I don't know what they want in this state.
All right, Samuel, thank you. We have to move on to another caller. But I think what's important is, unfortunately, Samuel, we have to move on. We don't have a lot of time, so we can't have one. The question we asked, and we don't like us to respond to that question. Now the state of emergency, and that's the reality. We have an administrator, and that's the reality. It's for 6 months. At the end of it, will this state of emergency lead to Rivers people being in charge of their state? That's the question. So let's find out what you think. Letambari Mbori, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Nicky and Andrew. Yeah. Nicky, well, for me, I must say I thank God for what has actually happened and with the way President has decided to take, responsibility of what's happening in Rivers State. Definitely, it has gone out of hand. The situation has already gone out of hand with the way the exchanging of words, giving ultimatum, serving even the governor with impeachment notice and all that. The situation has already gone out of hand, and I want to thank the president for coming up with this idea. Definitely, if he's suspending them for 6 months, I don't think in the expiration of the 6 months that they will not come back again. They will come back. I think by then they would have been able to put their house in order. And so for me, I can't say I will.
All right, Leighton Barry. Point made already. Thank you. We have to move on. Let's go to Yenegua. Gift. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
All right, go on.
The truth of the matter is this. That is why we need to be careful with every action that we take in life. The man in question is a man that I don't think anybody will even complain about his competence. You reel out a lot of things. It is more than that. My brother, you will read until you retire. That is the position right now as it stands. The man will do very well in the 6 months. But my pain here is the House of Assembly. After all these guys went through another 6 months, Andrew Fiemi, it is one of those things. I accept it because the president is trying to curtail the excesses of our brothers and sisters, because militancy is not carried out by only male. You can imagine threatening all of Nigeria in a constitutional matter. If a governor or a president has erred, if there is infraction, you have the right as House of Assembly to impeach. But they said if you try it, all must fall. And Wike, according to his word, everyone will fall. And it is not even cool. Look at what is playing out today. Where are those guys that were pushing the governor and threatening? I blame us for allowing ourselves to be used this way. Let me stop here.
All right, let's go to Mufasa from NTA Road quickly. Mufasa, good morning.
Yeah, hi, Andrew. Good morning once again. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, that the declaration of state of emergency by Mr. President is ill-conceived and in bad taste. When you say country, we've had situations where non-state actors. So for me, in response to your question, if stability and if the people have gotten power back, my brother, that is an emphatic no. The people elected a governor that is meant to rule and oversee the affairs of the state. Now we are in a situation where an imposition has been made. A military man has been asked to take over the affairs of Rivers State, and that does not reflect the position of the people. That does not reflect the will and wish of the people. This is not the person we elected to oversee the affairs of Rivers State as governor. So for me, this is a complete abuse of power. It is undemocratic and it's unacceptable, regardless of whatever personal or whatever interest that you claim to represent. It is unacceptable.
All right, thank you, Mufasa. Let's go to Uche Ken in the chair quickly now. Good morning, Uche Ken.
Yeah.
Hello.
You said something in the morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Yes. You said during the wisdom, when corruption, that somebody told you that when corruption favors some people, it becomes a connection. But when it fails some people, it becomes a corruption. Now, we are all glamour how an elected governor who was elected by his people was suspended by a president. We were all here too when an elected suspended and sacked by the same governor. And to condemn it. That is not even my business. This will be so, yes.
Hello, your network is really bad, Uche Ken.
Yes, AYC blocked the road. They were who did not see it. Come back to your question. Come back to the people. If the people wishes.
Okay.
If the governor wants to do this, by preaching peace publicly, going to the back, sending people to go to court to ferment problem, the power will not get to the people.
All right, then, Uche Ken, thank you. Even though we couldn't hear you clearly, I will take one more call. That will be Ida from Nkoro. Ida, good morning.
Andrew, good morning. My brother, whatever speech the governor wants to make, it's very fast first. That's why I love the governor of Rivers State. Through the governor of Rivers State, the light will keep shining. My brother, no man is God. God created heaven and earth. When God wants to speak his own, and no man and their antique authority. Now, Bola Tinubu was elected, Governor was elected. Don't know why Bola Tinubu has the right to suspend the governor and win 23 LGA. Rivers people are suffering, not the governor. The governor will eat and eat very, very well for these 6 months. I want to ask a question. Supreme Court passed a judgment to hold Rivers State allocation. And now they say we should pass budget first. The House of Assembly should come together and pass budget. Now, within this crisis, now this one has taken over. We Supreme Court release the Rivers State allocation. If they release Rivers State allocation, they have done, there is, I don't know what. My brother, I'm short of words.
All right. I think it's a critical question you asked there at the end. What happens to the local government election that was slated for August 9? Because that would be within the 6 months. The allocations, then what then happened to worker salaries for the 6 months? There was a Supreme Court judgment. Or with this, does it mean the Supreme Court judgment no longer holds and then we'll release the money regardless and pay the workers regardless? What would be the situation with all of that? All the appointments and those that are the appointees of the government, how are they going to work? Maybe there will be meetings with the administrator, to also decide how all of that would go. But these questions are the very key questions that we need to start asking ourselves. What happened to the education sector, the health sector? What happened to all of these areas, pensioners? The list goes on and on. What would happen to all of those areas? And for these 6 months, including this month, that we would have people in the state who is going to pay their salaries. Because now it's out of the hand of the governor. The governor has been suspended according to the emergency declared by the president. So who paid the salaries of those workers and all of those? What then happens to the budget? And the back and forth we've been having with regards to the presentation of this budget that we've had back and forth for some weeks now. What happens to it? What happens to the monies that have been seized? Critical questions, very critical questions. We'll go on WhatsApp and take some more messages. Let's see if we can take a few before we wrap up. Ima says, the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State is uncalled for. We are all watching, and time will tell the real outcome of the state of emergency. From Ima in Port Harcourt. Someone says, good morning. So President can hurriedly declare state of emergency, and he has not done it in oil sector and other oil key sectors. Affliction will not rise a second time. In those sectors, what he would declare is, what's the word? Is it affirmative action or what do you call it? That's the word slipped my head. He cannot declare state of emergency. Okay, yeah, he can, technically, to say let's solve the problem. State of emergency in education and so on and so forth. All right, please tell the script who. I can't take that. You don't come and say things like that on the show. This has shown Rivers people our true enemy. But my advice to the president is that the state of emergency is not a strategy, but a proof and acceptance of failure. I'm happy that some diehard supporters of the FCT minister and their assembly members are also complaining and expressing their sadness. What enemy meant for bad, God is turning it for good. The governor is a hero and deserves his award.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info will be